Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to Changing the Lost Vanity. Vanity is a first edition Chronicles of Darkness game set in southern Florida during the year 1993. Follow Katrina, played by Tillman, Raymond, played by Chris, Isabel, played by Andrew, Frank, played by Slavic, and Adam as the storyteller, as they uncover the mysteries of the true Fae and forge new paths for themselves in a world of beauty and madness. Follow us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM for channel updates, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
Katrina, the branch snaps right underneath your foot, and it makes this cracking sound that it almost echoes the way that it's just so silent and it's just so abrupt. And you just see this guy just turn around and just focus on the bushes. And he's just still staring coldly, staring blankly. And you're wondering if he sees you, or if he's just looking in this direction, or you're looking directly into his eyes. You know what I mean? And it seems like his eyes are staring right back, but his mannerisms, his demeanor, is just so cold, so clinical, that you just are still not even sure if you're safe or not. And you just see him take these two calm steps towards the bushes, and he just stands there for a second, and your heart is just boom, boom, just beating out of your chest. And he just calmly just takes his arm and just grabs into the bushes. And you just see this arm right next to your face as he's just reaching for you. Can you give me a dexterity and let's see, we'll say dex and athletics for just trying to weasel out of the way where he can't grab you by the shirt or by the neck or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to try to circle him at least, to take a step to the side and maybe another one. I mean, he's clearly seen me, so I think I'm going to try to step into the clearing.
Give yourself a -1 on that as well, because you're kind of stuck right now. Not really stuck, but like you're in a tough position right now, being like in the bushes.
I have 2 successes.
So he's not able to grab you, and you're kind of able to just like slip out from where his arm is reaching, and it gets very real for you in this moment. He saw you, and he's going to try to grab you, and you have no idea what his plan to do with you is after that. And so you just feel this sensation of just pure fight or flight. And you said you're going to try to circle around and like rush out to where the clearing is?
Yeah, I can't really run away from him through the bushes, so
yeah, it would be tough.
So I'm going to step into the clearing, but I want to circle him a little.
Yeah, so you're able to create like a good 15 feet of distance between you and him, and you just kind of like step out of the brush into the clearing, and he's just standing there, just looking straight at you as you're now standing on the clearing. He's gonna try to run after you at this point. So the way we're gonna do this, give me another dex and athletics. And I'm going to roll his dex and athletics as well.
Katrina's going to yell for help.
He got nothing, so...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
4 successes.
Yeah, so it's like he goes to like run after you, but it's like he can't get into that full run. It's almost just like he's like jogging after you somewhat. And you're just like, you just turn around and you just try to go the other way. And he gets like a little bit closer to where you are, but you still have like a good 5 to 10 foot distance between the two of you. And you've made it a little bit farther away, and he's gotten a little bit closer, but you still have that distance between you. The only thing now is you're not quite sure where to go, because it's like you could go back into the bushes and potentially try to get away from him from there. There's no saying whether or not he's going to pursue you through the bushes or how far or anything like that, but you're not really sure. You could try to You could try to get past him and go towards the other side. You're not really sure, but you have the jump on him right now as far as distance. But so where you're standing right now, you're like at the edge of this clearing, facing the bushes again, and he's behind you trying to catch up.
So, like every side of the clearing looks the same to me. It's just thick branches and nothing really to see there.
And go ahead and make that same roll again. Okay, is that your roll there, 1?
Yep.
Okay, so he got 3. Whichever way, like which way are you going to try to move?
I think Katrina would circle the clearing.
Okay.
Trying to find the way that he came from.
Right. Okay, so you try to run along the side, and it's kind of tricky at this point because you have to try to basically like run past him at this point.
Okay.
Because it's like you're going to end up going back into the direction where he's facing almost. And so as you try to make that brush past him, he goes to grab you and he's able to catch part of your shirt. And so for this, I want you to do another, give me dex and we'll say like dex and brawl to try to like wrestle him off of you. And give me a +1 for that.
I have 2 successes. And I think she would just push him away.
Yeah, so he goes to grab your shirt and you just kind of, you go to like break his grip from your sleeve by just like pushing his arm out of the way with your arm, and you just like give him like a good shove and he falls on his ass, but he's starting to get up like right away. And he's almost just like walking quickly after you at this point. And you run to the other side and you're trying to find some sort of trail, anything, something, any sort of path at all. And there is no visible path. It's just woods on, every side of this place. And you have to imagine at this point that he just walks in from the woods, with no path, or he just doesn't leave at all. It's just this clearing and nothing else. And it's like you are starting to feel trapped in a way as he starts to make his way back towards you.
How far away am I from the bonfire right now?
So the bonfire is kind of like in the middle of this whole clearing. So you are about, we'll say the bonfire is like 10 feet away from you, and he's like 15 feet away from you again because you kind of, pushed him on his ass, okay. And now he's getting back up and trying to walk towards you again.
Okay, the bonfire is closer then.
Yes.
She's gonna dart towards it and try to grab a burning branch from the sides.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to just reach into the fire and you grab one side of like a small, like, stick, like kindling that is like still somewhat thick enough that you could swing it if you had to. And it's just completely in flames on the other end. And it's not necessarily too long. It's probably about 1.5 feet long, because it's the other half of it is being burnt up by this fire as you grab it. So you just grab the stick and you're holding it in front of you. He doesn't seem to notice. It's almost like he's like a robot. He's still walking right towards you. And he goes to grab you again. And instinctively you put this stick out to try to make some distance between the two of you. And it burns him just right over here as you are just like trying to press it against his chest. And he just leans into you fully and just grabs you by the shoulders, and the both of you just tumble down onto the ground. I'll let you do one more dex and brawl to try to get out of his hold. But otherwise, he's going to be trying to pin you. So I'm actually going to do a roll for him as well.
We're next to the fire right now.
Yeah.
I would like to use a willpower point. Does that give me 3 more dice, or is that okay? And my plan is to roll over so that I take him with me. Like I'm imagining we're both on the ground. Is he on top of me?
He's on top of you right now, trying to pin you down.
So my plan is to roll over in the direction of the fire so that maybe his arm or something gets burned and he lets go of me.
Okay.
Oh wow, I have 2
Nice.
successes.
So it seems like he's got you pinned, but then you're able to just sort of like give this last like kick of strength and you push him off and he falls into the fire a little bit, not fully rolling into the fire, but you kick him back and his back just brushes up against all these sticks and stuff like that, and you see him, flailing around a little bit as his back is just getting singed by these flames, and he just like is moving much quicker once the fire touches him, and it's just like he gets up and he's trying to brush the flames off of himself and brush the cinder, and you can see like the smoke just coming from this shirt, and you see the ash just smeared against the whiteness of this shirt, and he's trying to pat himself off. Raymond, at this time, you make it back to this tent that you left behind, and as you're starting to approach it, you're starting to hear the sounds of struggling. You're starting to hear, the branches breaking. You're starting to hear the running, and you're hearing this altercation basically happen before you. And it's almost like you're like awaiting what you're going to see once you get there. So you're moving there with a much more hurried pace. You're holding the axe, 2 hands like this, as you're kind of jogging through the hedge to get to where this sound is coming from. And you have no idea what you're going to see. You have no idea at all. And you get there and you see this figure. You see the shape of this hat in the shadows and the light of the bonfire. This large, wide-brimmed, flat-brimmed black hat, almost like a pilgrim's hat. And you just see him standing there, smoke just coming from his back. But what's even more shocking is the other thing that you see there. You see Katrina. She's laying down on her back, almost like trying to crawl away from this thing that is just slowly moving towards her. And as you get a little bit closer, you realize that she's in danger. You realize that this thing, whatever this thing is coming after her. And you wonder, is this a dream? Is this real? Is this the real Katrina? Is this actually what's happening, or is this some sort of illusion my mind is making? But does it even matter? Would it even make a difference at this point? Raymond, what's going on?
I'm going to run up behind the dude and axe that motherfucker in the back of his neck with his own axe while he's trying to like go after Katrina. Like just giving in to like the primal side of me, giving into like letting the anger take over right now. So yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right.
He's gonna find his axe.
Katrina, you're laying down on the ground. Basically, there's not enough distance between you and him to try to pull yourself back up. And he's walking towards you, and he's right about to reach down and grab you by the neck. And you just see this hand just coming closer to you, and you feel this helplessness as this is about to happen. And then right as his hand grazes your neck, as he's about to go in to just choke you, and you are starting to feel just the intensity of this grip, you just hear this loud thud, and he just stops. And then you see the protrusion sticking out of his neck. It's the blade of an axe just wedged deeply in between his neck and his shoulder. And his eyes, still cold, still sterile and lifeless, just staring back at you. And the axe comes out again. Raymond, do you keep swinging?
Oh yeah, like I'm going to.
Why don't you just tell me how you do this, and I'm going to give you full control over what happens right now.
So I take it when I axe the guy in the neck, he falls onto the ground, and I'm just gonna like stick my boot like on the back of his head and just like use both my hands to lodge the axe out. And then I'm just going to start like fucking hacking away, like at his neck, at his back, at his head, just like this whole fucking body. And I'm just going to be like screaming, like all that fucking pain. I'm just going to be like screaming it out, like, and curse and be like, motherfucker! Just like bam, over and over and over again, just like berserk mode, screaming and just like kick it for like probably like 2 minutes straight. I'm just going to go off on this thing. And when I stop, I'm just gonna like drop the axe like next to the body and look at Katrina. And like right now, like I've told you about like his true form. I forgot what it's called, but where like it kind of had that smoky demeanor where you couldn't really make out his facial features or whatever, and it would change color, depending on his emotion. But like it's just like crimson red right now, just like completely crimson red. It's not even swirling, it's not even doing like any kind of change or anything like that. And I'm going to take off my shirt and throw it in the fire, and then reach down with both my hands to the mess that's below me and just like soak my hands in his blood. And I'm gonna slowly walk over to Katrina and just like gently put each of the palm of my hands on the side of her face, kind of like war paint in a way, for a second, and just like stare at her for a second, and then just pull my hands off and offer a hand to help her up.
And before you can act, Katrina, you basically just see, and it's so crazy because it doesn't even register as Raymond immediately. You just see this axe go into the neck of the guy, and then he falls to the ground, and you see Raymond behind him. You recognize his famine, and Raymond takes the axe out, and he begins hacking away and screaming. And this axe is not very sharp. It's taking a great many swings, but it doesn't matter. He's swinging it so furiously that just little by little, this head is becoming separated from the body, and it's bad. It's like it's hanging from like it's halfway on at one point, where it's like you can just see like half of the neck connected, and then you just see this giant gorge where his neck and his head are just like completely separated, and then just that one final swing with just full of cracking and guttural noises as the head just completely separates from the body and just rolls a slight distance away from it. And he reaches down, and it's almost surreal the way that he dips his hands in the blood and just ritualistically almost presses it against your face. And you're stunned. You don't stop him from putting this on your face. You start to realize how this place changes people. How you're not a person when you're in here. When you're in here, it's more animal. It's more tribal. It goes on base instincts. It doesn't go on rationality. It doesn't go on anything like that. And as you realize that you understand this place, and that you understand Raymond a little bit more than you thought you did previously. Katrina, what's going on in your mind right now, just after seeing all of this, after seeing Raymond and seeing what he just did, but also realizing this man who you've felt a great deal of animosity towards lately has just saved you?
Yeah, I think Katrina's just like laying or sitting there, something in between, like holding her hands very tightly, like grabbing her elbows, like almost in a fetal position, like shaking a little bit, like she just escaped her certain death. At least that's what she thinks. And I don't think she's really crying, but she's so tensed up that like tears are coming from her eyes, and like there's no color in her face. And I think it takes Raymond a while to get her to stand up, but she feels very relieved in a way. But I don't think she's really making any connections in her head right now. Like she's just relieved to have survived this moment.
Right, and that makes total sense. I mean, what can a person even make of these sorts of events unfolding? So Raymond stands before you, still holding this axe, and it looks like it's like a part of him almost, the way that he holds it. I'm gonna leave this scene on you guys right now. If you guys want to say anything to each other or anything like that, I'm just gonna leave it to you guys right now.
Katrina's gonna lean onto Raymond, I think.
Like Raymond will, like for a second, not react, then put his like right arm around her. You know what I mean? And kind of like pull her in for a second and let her rest on him while he's standing there. And then he's gonna give her like a good 30 seconds to sit there and collect herself, or a minute. And then he's gonna kind of like gently, like, use that same arm and put it back on her shoulder and make her stand on her own as he looks down on her. He's just going to look down on her until she says something.
I thought I made a bad mistake
What mistake?
coming here.
Why did you come here? How did you get here?
I wish to see you. And if there's one thing I learned, it's that you should be careful what you wish for.
We are meant to be together in this. I think we both know that. I think we both know we're connected. I'm not coming back from this, Katrina. I'm not going to.
But why? We need you.
You don't need me over there. But I'm going to do what I can over here before they get me.
What? They?
Someone here is responsible. They've been coming back. I felt it. I don't know how long I've been over here, but I was by Manny's house. And I lost my way here inside Manny's house, by his house. And at first I was scared and I almost took my life and ran into this thing, this snake. And I let fear overcome me. But now I just kind of look down at the axe. I'm over it. I'm not going back there. And I'm going to do what I can here. Come with me.
But what can we do here?
I don't know.
I walked forever and now here's this one place.
And we'll walk to another place. And we'll walk to another. And just like we knew we're supposed to be together, we'll go where we need to be. This isn't over there. You need to do this. And if you make it back, after all this is done, then you'll know what decisions need to be made. And they'll listen to you. And you'll tell them what needs to be done. There's a reason why we're brought together.
Yeah, the reason is the snake thing wants us to.
It's so I can show you what I'm incapable of doing. You're calm. You think. You make decisions. But you also know that a lot of them pretend like nothing's wrong.
Yeah, I did.
And when we're done here, you will tell them how it needs to be done. And what you have is a strength. I saw it in you, and I'm sure you'll find it in here. Let's go. And I just turn around and start walking into the foliage with the axe over my shoulder.
Katrina is gonna swear and then run after you because there's nothing else for her to do.
And I'm just going to kind of go where my gut is taking me. You know what I mean? Kind of walk away from the fire and and out of character, I'll probably be listening for horns again or anything like that. Or if I see anything, but I'm going to walk.
And you guys walk side by side into the distance. No sounds except for the sounds of the night and the bonfire roaring behind you. And then you leave this place one final time. Into the night, into the unfamiliar, and just into the darkness. And I'm going to leave you two right there. We'll cut to Frank. You and Manny are driving still, and you just left Ron's place. You see Manny is kind of, as he drives, he's trying to also flip through his black book of names and contacts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he's using his car phone to just make phone calls to just ask people in the spring court if they know where Melissa lives. And
okay.
He's made you don't know who specifically he's calling. He's made about 3 phone calls since you guys have been driving. And every now and then you'll pass this same McDonald's on the right, and it's you realize that Manny is just driving in circles. That he's almost manic. The way that he handles things, it's like he's just driving in circles, just making these calls, just making these business calls, one after another. Hey, I'm just trying to find Melissa. Just got to ask her something. Do you know where she's living at these days? And he's not getting any luck. None of these people in the spring court really are close enough with Melissa to know where she lives or anything like that. And it's it's filling in more of the puzzle about Melissa, Nobody is close enough to her to be able to just know where she hangs her head for certain, And then Manny just says I could pull my last stop and call Allison, but I really don't want to put myself in a position of weakness in front of her. Does that make any kind of sense? And
okay.
I mean, how things work around here. If I do ask her for help, I'm undoubtedly going to be owing her something, which I can live with. It's just I hate to owe anybody anything. Makes me feel rotten.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we're going to be able to find her spot any other way. So, you think I should do it? And you see him holding like a ripped out page.
Well, we do have to find her.
That's right. We have to. I mean, we have to. Okay, I'll call her. I'm going to pull over for this one, though. And you just see him. He hits the blinker, and you guys pull into like a Kmart parking lot, and he just kind of slides his car into one of the empty spaces in the back where nobody really parks because you're like a good walk to the front of the store. And it's just kind of his car there. You see people shopping, whatever. And, he stops the car, still running and everything. And he takes the car phone out, and it's, you see this big curly cord that connects it. And he waits for a second, and he calls. And the phone's ringing a little bit. And, he just says, hello? Yeah, Allison, it's me, Manny. Look, I was going to ask you something about one of your people here. It's nothing huge at the moment. I'm just trying to find Melissa. You know where she hangs her head at. Uh-huh. Well, I'm sorry to be calling you. It's you're the last person I can ask for this. Okay. Well, yeah. No, and I will. Look, do you know or not? Okay. Thank you. Okay, that helps. Yes. All right. I'm sorry. Look, just call me and we'll figure something out. And there he's kind of talking for like another like minute and a half or two, and you see him jotting some stuff down, and he's just like, okay, all right, okay, bye. And then he hangs up the phone, and he's just like, well, I got an address, but she's not quite sure that she still lives here. We could always check it out. She said that they all stay at the Hollow, their little hedge space that they have, but she didn't know where that would be. That's like their little secret. But she was kind of hanging her head down at this warehouse spot that is a little bit on the outskirts of town, and it's kind of like a renovated warehouse space that she lives in with some other kind of people like her.
Well, let's go, Manny. What are we waiting for?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to check it out, I guess. And so Manny starts driving, and you guys drive for about 15 minutes until you get to this section of town where it's all these old factories and stuff that are not all being used still. There's some that are still in operation, but most of them are just buildings at this point. Buildings that nobody is, totally using anymore. But on Allison's tip, you guys are going to this address to see if maybe you can ask some questions about Melissa. So you guys get there. It's not exactly clear how one would gain entrance into this place. This place is an old factory. It's very much so an old factory, and you can see that it's been, renovated for living, but not like in a very formal way. It's kind of like it's almost like a step above squatting. You know what I mean? And it's like you can see that there's lights going on inside of this place, and you can see that there's probably a lot of people that live here. And you guys are out in the parking lot just watching for a little bit, and you see somebody enter through what appears to be like a loading dock. And then Manny just kind of looks at you and is just like, okay, I think that's how we're going to get in. Look, I'm going to get outside the car and I'm going to kind of walk around for a little bit, and I need you to keep an eye on things. I'm going to try to open this loading dock door and get inside, and if I'm able to, I want you to come in right behind me, all right? If I'm not able to and they kick me out, I'm gonna take a walk for a little bit, and then I want you to try, okay?
You got it, boss.
So you see Manny, he steps out of the car, and he's kind of just like slowly like meandering to where this like loading dock area is. And, he stands at the edge of it. He's smoking a cigarette. He's kind of looking around a little bit. And, after about a minute passes and he gets the vibe that he thinks he's alone, he flicks his cigarette out, pulls himself up onto the base of this loading dock, and just goes to slide the door open. And he pulls it open a little bit and almost just like looks under and looks inside. And then he looks back at the car where you're sitting, and he just signals like a a come forward motion, you know? And then he sets the sliding door back down until you're able to get to where he's at. And then once you pull yourself up onto the loading dock with, you know, a little bit of help from him just kind of like pulling at your shirt as you like pull yourself up, as he just kind of tries to like help you get your footing and stuff like that. You guys slide the door open and you both make your way inside. Now this place on the inside, it's very trippy looking. There's a lot of walls that are just made, a lot of hallways that are just made out of these like hanging curtains, you know? A lot of these rooms are just separated by curtains being held up on this almost like clothesline type of thing. Like if you were above where this clothesline starts, it's like you would have this top-down view of just like every room in this like factory style place. So you're not really sure where to even begin. And, you know, you guys are kind of like slowly walking down this corridor with just multicolored bed sheets lining the walls of this hallway, kind of, you know, if you would call it a hallway. It's almost like cubicles or something, you know, just separated by these sheets. It's like, it's very, very bizarre, very makeshift. And you can hear like lots of other people just behind these different sheets as you guys start to walk through. And Manny looks back at you somewhat uncertain, but he reads your eyes, he reads your expression, and he turns back and just keeps going forward. He doesn't want to make any kind of noise, so it's like he's moving like stealthily because he doesn't want somebody to notice him here and like kick him out or something like that. But he also isn't sure, you know, where in this giant place you guys are going to find Melissa. So you guys are just walking, you know, and you can hear like all this sorts of just sounds of living on the opposite sides of these sheets. It's not a wall separating you guys. It's this thin layer, and it's strange. And you see like a few of the sheets will kind of like be parted a little bit as somebody peeks through to see what's happening. And, you know, as one of the sheets parts, you see like a person sitting down on like a mattress that's on the floor. You see another person laying down on this mattress, belt still wrapped around their arm, just completely passed out. And this person just peeks through the curtain almost and just kind of like closes it. You're starting to get the vibe that maybe a lot of people come through here. You know, maybe people aren't alarmed to see strangers here. Maybe that's just a part of what it's like to live in a place like this. And you think, wow, I thought Ronnie's place was bad, but this is literally just a drug den, you know? You just see the squalor, you see the sadness in the faces that peeked through the curtain, you know, almost like they're just living ghosts. They're just pale, sunken eyes, just complete desperation in their look. And you guys just keep moving on. After a little bit, Manny's starting to become impatient, and he's kind of just pulling back the curtains himself, just like looking. And it's like he's not finding what he wants. He sees two people, sees one person, he sees another person, and then he starts doing it more frantically. You know, he's just like pulling these sheets back and then just like pulling another one back, and he just starts shouting, "Melissa! Melissa!" And you're just like, you know, you want to tell him to stop, but you wouldn't tell him to stop. That's not the way that your guys' friendship operates. And like you guys are starting to like run through this place almost. Like you're running behind Manny to keep up with him. And he's just shouting, "Melissa! Melissa!" And it's like, it's strange. You're seeing these junkies like peeking out behind these curtains and stuff to see what the commotion is. Nobody getting up or saying anything though, just sort of casually observing, you know, from behind this, you know, stained white bed sheets and stuff like that. That's kind of the only sort of wall that separates these folks. Before like 10 minutes or so have passed that you guys have been in there, he pulls back one of the curtains and he just like looks in for a second, and it's like he just steps inside and he just disappears, because it's like he just walked through the curtain and the curtain just covered up around him. And
okay. Frank will follow him. For sure.
Okay. So yeah, you open the curtain and you go to peek inside, and you just see Melissa is just inside of this curtain room, just throwing things into a bag. She just has like a suitcase of some sort, and she's just putting these few belongings she has into this bag, just really quickly. And she's just like, "What? What do you want?"
Where are you going?
I'm leaving now. I'm leaving tonight.
Sort of look at Manny.
Look, I'm going. I'm getting out of Florida. This is too fucked up. This is too fucking crazy. My whole family, everybody in my family is dying.
Well, we need you for something.
Nope, I'm out of here. No fucking
not.
chance. Yes, I am. I'm fucking leaving.
No, we're not.
And you see her, she just breaks down and she starts to cry and she's like, I'm going now. Get out of my way. I'm not sticking around this place for another fucking second. I'm not going to be next.
There's gonna be a lot of people next if you don't help us.
Like something, I don't know, something's going on. And I don't know if it's because you tipped off Raymond or something, but you know what? I think you must have. I think you must have told Raymond about what happened the other night, and now he's taken another one of my friends. So I hope you're fucking happy for yourself.
What do you know about Raymond?
I know that so far he's killed 2 of my brothers. And I'm not going to stick around for him to kill me next. I'm leaving.
2 of them?
Yeah, first Charlie and now Ronnie.
So, you know what happened to Ronnie?
I went to his apartment last night and I found him dead and I left and I'm leaving tonight. And I don't give a shit about any of this bullshit anymore. Fuck the freehold. Fuck all you guys. I'm fucking leaving. You see Manny? He's just like listening. He's just like,
well, but what if you killed Ronnie?
Get the fuck out of my face. And she just like tries to brush past you. And you see Manny just steps in front and just pushes her in the shoulder. And it's just like, nope, you're not going to take a foot out of here.
Yeah, you're gonna help us find Raymond.
Yeah, you're coming with us. What are you guys going to fucking force me?
I just sort of take her stuff, the bag she has.
Give it back to me right now. Give it back to me. I'm leaving.
Gonna get it back after you help us find Raymond.
Why would I help you find Raymond? Did you hear what I just said? He killed my friends. He's going to kill me next.
Because I have your stuff.
I'll leave without it. I don't give a fuck. I'll start over. Fuck this bullshit.
You're gonna help us. You owe me.
And you just see her. She just like stares at the ground for a second and she's just like, okay, I'll come with you guys for a couple hours and then you're going to drop me back off here. You're going to give me my stuff back and I'm leaving town. Agreed?
Frank sort of looks at Manny.
Manny's contemplating a little bit and he just, okay. All right, it's a promise. We'll bring you back here after a few hours. You can do whatever the fuck you want with your pathetic life. Probably going to die in the gutter in a few years anyways, no matter where the fuck you go. But listen, right now, you're going to help us. You're going to make your pathetic fucking existence mean something for once, all right? You're going to help us. If you really think Raymond killed your friends, well, you're going to help us find him. So we'll deal with whatever happened once we get him, but you're going to help us get him back right now. All right? So start walking. Lead us out of this place. And it's like you see how Manny's power just worked again, you know? It's just like his intimidation it just works on people, you know? And defeated, she kind of just like leads the way out of this place.
Hello, folks. Have you ever wished you could have an easy way to find gameplay videos and podcasts, or just media in general that deals with your favorite White Wolf role-playing games? Or have you ever wished you could find a forum to share gameplay that you have recorded, one which wouldn't be drowned out by random posts and discussion, so that your media could get the attention you want? Well, we have the answer for you in a Facebook group we run called White Wolf RPGs Gameplay and Media. The group is specifically ran with the sole intent of it being a one-stop shop for people to view or share media involving the games we all love. We take thorough steps to ensure the page does not become cluttered and is easy to traverse. We are currently over 1,000 members strong, and we are continuing to rapidly grow, with new media being shared every day. Stop on by. We hope to see you there. High Level Games, the industry's first choice in taking your games to the next level. We are a podcast blog and new media network at highlevelgames.ca. We have blog posts about all of your favorite games going up 5 days a week, and a podcasting network with actual plays and shows that discuss role-playing games, with more rolling out all the time. We are on iTunes, Twitch, and YouTube. Find out more information at highlevelgames.ca, a site that certainly isn't controlled by a shadowy board of directors of otherworldly origin. That's highlevelgames.ca.
Please, help. They're coming.
The Los Angeles metropolitan area is constantly growing and changing. The Central District is full of new buildings. The Hollywood and Wilshire districts, once far from downtown, now are part of a which spreads past Beverly Hills and out to the ocean. But why is all this going on in Los Angeles? Why is Los Angeles an exploding city?
Neon Masquerade.
The Demon's Mirror.
13 Candles.
3 Chronicles running through the undead veins of the City of Angels.
The Esoteric Order of Roleplayers Actual Play podcast invites you to drink deeply.
Go to eorpodcast.com and search the duets tag to find out more.